What happened? You disappeared.
Hey, everybody, it's Mike, the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit
Hey,
us.
Mike, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, doing great. I just want to let you know this is the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Deezer, Stitcher, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful gentleman who's into indie psych rock, and he's got just an amazing message which will cause a revolution. He's based out of San Francisco, and his new song is Electric, featuring the very talented Scott Page on the saxophone. We've had him on the Mike Wagner Show. Of course, you know Scott Page has been playing saxophone for many years, Pink Floyd, Supertramp, Toto, and more. And team me up with this guy right here, and he doesn't take no for an answer, and he's got a really nice message for us, and basically you just can't stop him. So here he is, the most revolutionary guy in San Francisco. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy takes no for an answer. Here's Noel Mansfield from Revolution. Hey, Noel, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
How you doing, Mike? It's great to be here. Really nice to meet you.
Hey, that's great. And do you have an evil twin named Yes, by the way?
Yeah. Well, no.
And then you probably have some sibling named IDK or something. So they're probably around. And so basically, based out of San Francisco, you're in a group called Revolution. You got a song called Electric. You also have Dinosaurs and More. And, of course, you got the latest album called Further. You also have one of the songs featuring Scott Page as well, too. And, of course, you've got a really interesting message. And basically, the message, you can just tell us about that. And, first of all, before we get into all that, tell us how you got started music-wise.
I was born with it. You know, I was very young when I started. And I think I was about 5 years old, and my brother bought a guitar, and, you know, he couldn't play, and he didn't even try. So I would sneak into his room when he went to work and play his guitar. And one of the first times I did it, this is the only time in my whole career of millions of hours of playing guitar that the string broke at the neck, the nut on the neck instead of the bottom. It always breaks at the bottom because that's where you're banging it, right? This one broke at the top, and it went kapling and went and stuck right in my finger. I was a little 5-year-old, and I went, ah! And I started screaming, and I got yelled at for touching my brother's guitar. But then I should have learned, but I just went for it after that.
You know, just you think of breaking strings like John Entwistle breaking 5 sets of bass strings on the Rickenbacker. So I guess yours kind of sounds nothing, but at that age, it's kind of painful as well, too.
Oh, geez, to have that thing stick in your finger? Like, oh, God. And it's never done that since.
Oh, my goodness. That is something as well, too. And what was that one moment that influenced you to say, hey, I'm going to be a guitarist and I'm going to start a revolution? What was that one precise moment in your life that led you to say, hey, I'm going to play guitar once and for all and start a revolution?
The guitar was about 10 years old, and I can't remember who. It was such a fascinating instrument. It was so rhythmic and bouncy. And plus I whined long enough and my parents bought me one. And I came from a very small town, and there was only a drummer and a bass player in that town, and me. The three of us were the only musicians. So luckily we didn't play the same instrument. So I kind of got, okay, you have a guitar, you're the guitar player. That's how the guitar playing started. With the Revolution, oh God, that started early too. I pissed off at authority fairly early. But this Revolution we started about 5 years ago, and it was almost sort of an accident. A friend of mine owns a studio in Kansas City. Shout out to Cypher Sound Studios, and I asked him one time. I said, "Boy, he's a guitar player too, pretty good one." I said, "So you must record a lot there?" And he goes, "No, I never do." And I couldn't believe that he owned a studio and he never recorded there. So I said, "Well, let me use it." And he said, "Okay." Well, just having a studio, I got a studio here. I'm at our studio now. That's not such a big deal. The big deal was that his studio manager is Aaron Connor, one of the best producers around. He's done Bone Thugs and Harmony, Belinda Carlisle, Ed Sheeran recently. I mean, this guy is phenomenal. And I was like a kid, I was like, holy cow, this is going to sound good. And so we started recording songs, and I was doing some work out there in Kansas. It's in Kansas City, and all of a sudden we had enough for an album, enough songs. So then, and my longtime great friend and drummer in Revolushn, David Kendrick from Devo and Sparks and all that, he's got a long list too, like Scott. I said, "Hey, come on out to Kansas City and we'll record some songs with Aaron." And he's in LA, like, "Kansas City, is that east of the Mississippi?" I said, "No, it's just on the other side. We're okay." So anyway, we went out there and we spent a week there doing tracks. And then over the course of the next 4 months, I put all the guitar parts and the vocals, and that was our first album, The Freshman. And we put it out just as sort of a goof without having a band or anything. And then all of a sudden, it was really good. Hey, we should do something with this. So that started the different iterations of Revolushn. And I think we have 25 or 26 members in the band. We're kind of like a virus. Once you get us, it never goes away.
I know how that goes. That's a good pandemic you guys got.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. We don't kill you. We just make you dance, right? So, and nobody ever quits. They just can't make gigs, and we need to play. And so it's, the live band we have right now is really great. But it's been really, I got to shout out to all the people that have played with us. They've all been really great and supportive, and they like our songs. So it's been awesome. And
that sounds like it as well, too. And who are some of your favorite artists and singers and musicians growing up, and especially guitarists?
Hendrix, of course. And I really liked Eric Clapton a lot. The big guys. I'm trying to think. Funny, someone who influenced my guitar playing was Charlie Musselwhite, the harmonica player. Because I would listen to him, go, how is he bending those notes like that? And I'd try to mimic it on my guitar, and it wasn't for guitar, so it made it kind of a unique sound. But there's just Joe Satriani is really good. Robin Ford. I'm trying to think of someone current. I really like what's his name? The guitarist from the Foo Fighters. Not just Dave Grohl, but the other guy is really good too. Mm. Or the rhythm section for Green Day. I'm not sure if that's Billy Joel or the other guy, but God, that guitar sound is just amazing. I really love it. So that's kind of the people that have. I hate to say they influenced me, and I almost the last 5-6 years I try not to listen to too much because I don't want to copy people. But that kind of ended about 4 months ago. I thought, fuck that. I should probably be listening to other people and see what they're doing. And plus, I got roped into doing a Monkees tribute band, so I had to learn some songs.
What are some of your favorite Monkees tunes? Since we're on that subject, it just kind of.
Well, Daydream Believer, the way we do it, is really good. The Not Your Stepping Stone is really good. Pleasant Valley Sunday is really a radical lyrics for a TV show, and it was 60s, I guess it was. Mm-hmm. But their writing was really good, and that guitar part in Pleasant Valley Sunday is really a clever 5/4 type of thing. I mean, it's hard. When I first heard it, it's easy to fake it, but then if you actually want to do it the way they did it, it's kind of hard. Yeah, it takes a while, especially when I'm singing at the same time. But,
Uh-huh. And of course, I remember watching the Monkees back in the day, too. It sounds easy considering they had to be taught how to play instruments. But then when they went on tours, like they act like they're playing, but they had a band backstage. And of course,
yeah,
it's like that is very challenging. And for a group that pulled it off without any formal training, that was just amazing.
yeah. It was a pretty, if we're a band, you can say whatever you want. Oh, they didn't play their instruments, but whatever. But they were entertaining, and they were professional in how they did it. So you got to appreciate that.
Uh-huh. And of course, if they can open for Jimi Hendrix, they can open up for anybody. So
Well, I think it was the other way around.
Oh, was it the other way around?
Yeah, it was for them.
It was somewhere around there, but Hendrix, I'm sure, had the distinction. Too bad he's not live to talk about. Maybe we'll have to talk to him when we go up to Rock and Roll Heaven, and we'll talk about your latest album. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look on a professional website without breaking our budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with Noel Mansfield from Revolushn here on the Mike Wagner Show, based out of San Francisco. We talked about how you got the Revolushn started, and quite revolutionary indeed. And we'll talk about your latest album further, which is getting some really good reviews as well, too, and your single Electric, featuring Scott Page on the saxophone. Tell us more about the album.
Well, after the first album, it went better than we expected, because we're sort of an indie band with our own label, and we kind of know the business, especially David and I haven't sort of spent decades in Hollywood, but we were like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I thought, let's do another one. So David and I got to work and wrote about 30 songs. And then we picked, and we wanted this theme of sort of sci-fi space and like Dinosaurs is sort of a psychedelic song, and The River and Time plus Travel equals Time. All those songs are sort of about space and about that concept. And we dug through those 30 and worked on about 9 of them, and wow, these fit really well together. So that's then we went. I think we recorded we recorded the drum tracks in our studio this time, and then we got all the tracks together except for the vocals. I usually do the vocals with Aaron, because it's really hard to record your own vocals. You're always going, that sucks, and you'll never get done, right?
Don't try my vocals. I probably drive everybody away. I probably get fired.
Well, if I haven't got fired, Mike, don't worry. You'll be fine.
The new job security. If the other person can't do it, maybe the other person can't, but that's okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So then we went out there with Aaron and spent, I think we locked down the studio for 2 weeks and got the vocals done. And then we were very meticulous about the mixing and making sure they all sounded the same. And so that came out, and Dinosaurs kind of just took off on that. I think there's something like 500,000 streams now. It's kind of funny to us who grew up with records, because, geez, if we would have sold 1,000 records, we would have thought we were big stars back in the day,
Uh-huh.
And now we get 500,000 streams on a song, and it's like, here's your check for $70. You know?
It's better than nothing. And of course, if it gets played 10, 20 years down the road, you'll still get money. That's
right.
That's right.
I'm fixing my tape here. There we go. So,
and of course, don't you love technology, being electric as well, too? And of course, you all had the legendary Scott Page on the saxophone. And tell us about how you got him on board and how you guys first met.
Well, so I knew him back in the day when he got the gig from with Pink Floyd. We were all sort of in a crowd there in Los Angeles, and we were always kind of jealous, happy for him, you know. I could have got that gig, but on the other hand, awesome, Scott, you know, go kick ass. So and then I hadn't seen him since then, and you know, I didn't really know him that well. We just kind of were in the same circles and met a couple times, and so then we did some shows about a year and a half ago in Los Angeles, and a friend of mine who I've been playing with since I think I was 13. He came to the show and he brought this Robert Mills of the Hailers with him. And Robert, you know, right away, he's always looking for guitar players. So he said, hey, you want to come and jam with us sometime? And then we started talking, and my friend Harlan, his keyboard player, said, oh yeah, Scott Page is playing with us now. And I was like, Scott? Oh my God, I can't believe it. And so we kind of connected and said hi, and then at the same time, Jimmy started working with him, and you know, I gave Jimmy a recommendation, and I think they're working together still. This thing keeps slipping, doesn't it?
Well, don't you love new technology these days?
Yeah, that's right. This clear tape is just the best.
And of course, quite revolutionary for what we do as well too. Of course, I've seen a lot of live famous people that are doing just live shows in their home. They take a simple camera and they just like play from their living rooms. I mean, it's just what can we say? It's like, just down to earth, ordinary, but it just pulls off great, I have to say.
Yeah, it's really cool. At first, when I saw all these people doing videos in their house, I was like, I'm snobby about recording, because I've got thousands of hours in there, and you learn to hear things. But then I started liking how brave everybody was, and they're just out there. And I mean, this is live and raw, and it's really cool. I'm tempted to do one myself, but I think I'd be like jumping on the bandwagon now, so I can't do that.
You know what? Live and raw. That's how we do things here on the Mike Wagner Show. Live and raw. And of course, it's like having a thing of wine, cup of coffee, whatever. And of course, you can have some of my coffee, you can have some of my wine, and we'll talk more as well too. We'll talk about what's coming up in 2020 and more. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with Noel Mansfield from the indie psych rock group Revolushn, based out of San Francisco. Here in the Mike Wagner Show, we talked about Electric featuring Scott Page on the saxophone with Pink Floyd, Supertramp, and Toto. Also talked about Dinosaurs, the latest album Further, their first release, and also what's coming up in 2020 for you. We expect another album in the works later in 2020 and possibly beyond that.
Oh yeah, the new album. We have all the songs picked for it. Again, we 9 is our lucky number, so that's how many songs we put on every album. We have 4 of the 9 complete. Of the other 5, 3 of them are just need me to sober up and sing them straight. Now, I have this thing. For some reason, a couple glasses of wine, and I come up with the best melodies, but I sound like a drunken sailor, right? So then.
Really? Really? You know what? You said you'd be willing to sing after having a couple of glasses of wine and be willing to sing like a drunken sailor. Why don't you go ahead and sing for us for a little bit? Go ahead. We're not going to laugh at you.
Oh, yeah, you will. I need a couple more for that to just start wailing. But
here we go. Here we go. I'll let you have a little more. Here, pull out your cup. Pull out your cup. Here we go.
Okay, here.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So the new album's close to being done, and we were confident. Well, so we told Jimmy. I think we sent him a demo tape of Electric a year and a half ago, and said it's almost ready. So, but it just we've recorded that song 4 times now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, what happened was it was one of those where I just walked into the studio and sat at the piano and started playing it, and then it took a while. I came up with the idea for it, and then the lyrics, and then we started playing it live. At least a year ago, and we did a bunch of shows with it, and we would stretch it out because people danced to it. And then we recorded it. The first recording was it was meant to be a demo, but it was, in the studio just by myself and putting the parts on. Then we went, that's not even close. So we did it again, and then David came in and played drums on it. And that one was closer. So then we did it again, and that one was, David's drumming was amazing. But he's a studio drummer too, so he knows how to keep a deadly beat all the way through the song, which means, and he'll put lots of rolls in, right, and probably overplay, because he knows that us pro guys in the studio are going to start saying, okay, let's take this section and put it over here. We can do that with him because he's so steady all the way through the track. So I went out to Kansas City and spent 3 days with Aaron in the studio, and I mean, we lock ourselves in there for 10 hours a day, and got it done, and came back and listened to it and went, it's close, but no cigar, right? Mm-hmm. So then it took about a month to schedule another 3 days in there, and the second time we got it. That's what you hear now. But also, I want to tell you about one where Scott recorded with us. So I called him up and talked. I said, I want you to play on this track. And, we worked out our deal. And he came in there, and we did it at my friend's. He's got this studio in a small garage in the valley, in Van Nuys, I think he is. Yeah, and we did it in the summer, so it's hot as hell. Scott comes over. My friend comes over, too, just to watch and hear the song. And it's like 140 in this studio.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's just... And it took us like a while to get the mix up and to get it to sound right and get his headphone mix right. So then he just wails all the way through the track, right? One complete take for the whole thing. And we went great. And then, Scott's, well, let me do it again. Well, that was good. And he goes, no, let me do it again. So he recorded... We have 30 separate tracks of him on that song, right?
Oh my goodness!
And when we went to Kansas City with Aaron and we mixed it, it was that first take that we used.
Oh my goodness! I thought you had to do like the 9th one 9 times. Your magic number 9.
You would have thought, right? Well, I was okay with the first one, but Scotty's such a perfectionist, and he was saying, well, you can take these parts and move them around, and he, that's a lot of the times you do it that way, especially for horn players when you want to double stuff. But and Scott, by the end, about the 25th take, Scott was playing, and I could see him starting to get like woozy, and because he's just sweat pouring off him. And I stopped the tape. Scott, take a break. Scott, stop for a minute. But he was the kind of guy, he would play till death, I think. I mean, he's really a professional, and he feels it. He's really a pleasure to work with.
Oh, that's amazing. You got some plans laid out for 2020. And I was thinking about the number 9, how being lucky as well, too. And, what's the story about being, lucky number 9 and maybe influenced by John Lennon's number 9? You hear him say, number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9.
Uh-huh. No, it wasn't that. I think it's some chick I met at a bar once. It's an astrology girl told me that number 9 was my lucky number.
Number 9.
Yeah, maybe she was thinking of him, right?
Or was it Yoko?
She did, or a little bit Oriental.
Or she could be dyslexic, turned into a 6 too. He's like, you know how people are.
That's right. Well, that's going to be my next excuse if I can only come up with 6 songs for the next album.
There you go. And of course, looking forward to what you have as well too. Love you have back on sometime in 2020. Of course, we'll squeeze an electric sometime as well too. And of course, you've got a very special message to the world, and that is,
you can't stop us. It was meant for all the people that are feeling down and like different, people who don't feel fit in. Like you can't stop us because we're electric. It's sort of the idea came to me because my wife's daughter and I were talking about AI, and I said, God, like in 15 years you might be dating a robot. And she said, "Oh, that'd be cool."
Oh no, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah,
what do you want to do? I can imagine something like that. Oh my
right.
Danger. Virgin.
Yeah.
What was that from Spaceballs? Virgin alarm.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of the on the second verse, about the AI and how she already knows so much. Then, the keyboard player in my band is Bundle. She's my wife, right? And she's the Russian major, from the Red Army. And and Nasta's her daughter. So it's really a fun band. The core part of the band, Bundles and David and I, we've been together the whole time. It's all the other people that didn't change it. So.
It does sound quite revolutionary. Maybe you pick up a phone and say, "Hey, you want to order pizza for me or something?" So, or you put that part of a song too. It's just like, "Don't call me unless you're gonna buy me pizza or something." So,
That's right. Revolution has a price.
Yes, that's right. And of course, we're here with No Mansfield from Revolushn here on the Mike Wagner Show. Love to have back on sometime in 2020 and beyond. And just a couple of things here. No, who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
What is that? This telephone is influencing me in a bad way right now.
Oh, really? Okay. So
the biggest influence in my career. Oh God. I don't want to say Hendrix because it sounds cliche, but his sense of melody and flow and his timing. I still listen to his timing, and it's just amazing. So, as far as guitar playing, I'd say him. As far as a performer, David Bowie is really good. I think, more of someone who's more current would be Trent Reznor. He's pretty amazing. Another guy that I really like, who's a friend of mine, we've written songs together, is Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips. Mm-hmm. He's really a creative person, and he inspired me quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Flaming Lips, very inspirational as well too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Stay alive. Don't die. Keep breathing.
and of course, they can't stop you guys. That's the most important thing.
They cannot stop us, right? Because we're the masses, and we're defective, right?
That's right. Once again, No Mansfield from Revolushn here on the Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for being on our program. Look forward to him again soon. You've been fantastic. Once again, before we go here, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? how do people contact you, and where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Well, our website is revolushn.com, and that's spelled. My wife came up with the name, and she's Russian, so it's spelled REVLOUSHN instead of ION, because that's how a Russian would say it. And we're on all the Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, all the places. You can buy the music anywhere. Our new album should be out by May, middle of May, beginning of June, something like that. Electric is tearing up the charts on Spotify. We've got over 30,000 streams already in 7 days, which for us, I mean, that, for big stars, that's nothing. For us, that's pretty good. And that's great saxophone on there. I told Scott, I said I wanted it better than that saxophone part in Money. And he goes, okay, I'll get it.
And of course, the audio visual will play that as well, too. Once again, Noel, I'd like to thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date, and looking forward to having back on sometime in 2020 and beyond. And let's keep up the revolution.
All right. Cheers. It was my pleasure. Love meeting you, Mike.